Hi, everybody, and thank you for being here. Good Friday to you. Boy, it feels good to say that this time around, every time, but a little more tonight. It's the 28th day of June, of course, the last day I'm going to see you this month. When I see you next time, July will be here. We'll still be in this steamy pattern as well, with storms still on the increase, looking into your Independence holiday week and weekend. And in fact, some significant showers and storms, as you can see in some of the clouds behind me in parts of the viewing area. They're blowing up and not moving much, and we'll talk about that and just how some folks might be seeing some good downpours longer than what they would like. We'll have more in your forecast. We will not have remaining, and there are several indictments from the Magoffin County Grand Jury, as I said we would last evening. I spoke with local authorities earlier this afternoon. They were still attempting to serve several of those, so we will start off next week with that. Also, 10 o'clock next Monday morning is the next special fiscal court meeting, and that will be when a representative from the Big Sandy Community and Technical College will be here, and they'll be finalizing the details, and we'll be able to tell you more about the off-site campus for the college here in Magoffin County in the back of the community center, what that's going to entail, what it will mean now, and what it could mean in the future. So we're going to start off on a busy week, busy way next week, covering the rest of those indictments and a host of other things. Tonight, however, a lot of news. Conley racing teams in Pennsylvania tonight, and we'll show you a good story that was done about the Conley racing team on dragzine.com, and also how you can watch the live racing on the internet over the course of the weekend. Via a special meeting last night, the Big Sandy Jail has a new administrator. An update on the Route 30 Conley Farm Bridge that's been, oh, well, I'm sure, especially for those folks who travel it every day. A serious detour, nonetheless, but I've got an update for you, and it's good news, and also a drug bust. A Johnson County man arrested after being what they believe is part of an ongoing and growing drug problem in the Boones Camp area of Johnson County. So with all of that, we'll have one other thing before I go on, and that is some good news tonight from the Kentucky Wired Project, which is 4 years behind, tens of millions of dollars, maybe even more so, over budget. And at times it looked as though this project was not going to survive. However, earlier today, Congressman Hal Rogers and Governor Bevin and a host of others announced that Phase 1 of the project is completed. Phase 1 including Northern Kentucky, Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati, and that will allow them to now go on to Phase 2, which includes Eastern Kentucky. In a statement from Congressman Rogers' office, he says that this means one great thing for Southern and Eastern Kentucky. We are closing the digital divide. He says the Super Highway, as he likes to call it, drives directly into every one county so providers can extend their high-performing broadband interstate to more people and more businesses. Now, they've put a completion date on the Kentucky Wired project for next year, and that is a significant turnaround from where the project feared to be heading over the course of the past year or so. And once again, nearly right at 4 years behind and millions and millions of dollars over budget, but it appears as though it is going to become a reality. We'll keep you up to date on that for certain. It is the opening day. It was the opening day for the farmers market in Magoffin County. I'll take you there in just a second. We'll hear from our local agriculture agent, see how well it's looking to be the rest of the season. Right now, though, a couple of other things. First, a drug arrest last night, one of many related to an ongoing investigation in the Boones Camp area of Johnson County. Johnson County Sheriff Doug Saylor's office tells us that they've arrested 52-year-old Fred Butcher of Boones Camp and charged him with a single count thus far of trafficking in a controlled substance, first-degree crystal methamphetamine. They say that they conducted a 6-month investigation, which is still ongoing, into the sale of methamphetamine and possibly other drugs in the Boones Camp area, and were able to make a controlled buy-bust from Butcher through a confidential informant in purchasing a quantity of crystal meth. The Sheriff's Department believes that Butcher and others make up a network or part of a criminal syndicate in the Boones Camp area, trafficking in a significant quantity of crystal methamphetamine and possibly other drugs. At his residence, they seized a small amount of cash and approximately 18 grams of crystal meth. Bill Meade with the Johnson County Sheriff's Department stresses that this is an active case that will be brought before the Johnson County grand jury in the near future, and they remain committed to fighting illegal drugs in the Johnson County area, and still encourage everyone to contact the Sheriff's Department with any information that will remain on a confidential basis. They do not need your name, just any details you may have about illegal drug activity in Johnson County. Also coming out of Johnson County, but a report that, of course, which involves Magoffin, Martin, and Lawrence as well, as we see that the Big Sandy Regional Jail has a new administrator after somewhat abruptly firing former administrator Pete Fitzpatrick some months ago. The Jail Authority Board established a committee and a search to find a new replacement, and they voted on one unanimously last night. We've been covering, of course, the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center Jail Authority Board meetings for years now, and as of the past several months, we've been covering, which began with the firing of former Administrator Pete Fitzpatrick, the search for a new administrator. And that search came to an end last night following a special meeting of the Big Sandy Jail Board. I'm told after numerous applicants were interviewed for the position, one received a unanimous vote last night, and he has been identified to us by jail personnel as Byron Hansford. Mr. Hansford is actually a previous employee of the jail and also a former Kentucky State Police trooper. The announcement made official today. However, of course, standard operating procedures dictate that he will be reached out to, will accept the position. We can assume they will sign a contract, and it's unknown when his first official day or duties will be as the new jail administrator. We will, however, have a report to follow just as soon as all of those things are put into place and he takes his position as the new head of the regional jail. But once again, Mr. Byron Hansford, the new administrator of the Big Sandy. I'll be right back with more headlines. On average, men live 4 to 5 years less than women, and men are 71%, or 12% more than women, at risk of obesity, and women are 100% more likely than men to visit the doctor for annual exams and preventable services. Guys, if something doesn't look or feel right with your body or mind, look to the professionals at Hope Family Medical Center who want to help you live a longer, healthier, happier life. From mental and physical health to your diet, prescriptions, physical activity, and more, Hope can help with all of it. That's Hope Family Medical Center in Salyersville. Of course, you can always get guaranteed great deals this time of year on mowers and weed eaters and blowers, but right now at Parkway Gun and Pawn, they've also got an incredible selection of hand and power tools, guitars, and musical instruments just in, new and used, long and handguns, and ammunition and more, with no pawn limits and cash today on anything you want to sell or pawn. Parkway Gun and Pawn.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Appalachian Wireless wants to know if you're tired of settling for a phone you didn't really want because it was more about the cost of the device rather than the phone you really wanted. Well, Appalachian Wireless has the solution, and it's called the Appalachian Advantage. With Advantage, every phone model is back on the table because you only have to pay the taxes on the device you really want. Many of our hottest smartphones are less than $50 up front, then a few extra dollars on your monthly bill. With Appalachian Advantage. Payment agreement is required. See store for complete details.
Your new IGA has fresh brewed coffees and delicious donuts made 7 days a week. Daily made breads piled high with any meat or cheese you can think of. And come and taste the salads, broccoli and cauliflower, cornbread, and their gourmet chicken salad made fresh right here. They've got fruit and vegetable and meat trays made with a little love, and celebrate anything with perfectly professionally made cakes. All fresh and ready for your next meal, party, or event at your Salyersville IGA, where it's a new day, place, and way to shop. Before we get a word or two from our Magoffin County Agriculture Agent, a quick update on a project that a lot of folks are anxious to see completed because it's been a big detour. And for folks like me who forget things and have to go back and forth to the home or what have you on numerous occasions each day, taking a detour around the Route 30 bridge at the junction of 460, of course, has been a significant thing to have to deal with. But the good news is though, even with the rains and weather that we have seen, the project appears to be on schedule per a conversation our editor Heather Oney had with H.B. Elkins earlier today. Today essentially marks a month that they have been doing rehabilitation work on the Conley Farm Route 30 bridge at the junction or intersection of Route 460 and Route 30. In the initial press release that I got from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet back at the end of May, they estimated that it would be 60 days for the major repair project to be completed, part of the state's Bridging Kentucky initiative, in which they would close the bridge for 60 days as the superstructure was rehabilitated. About a $750,000 project, one of several bridges to be replaced or rehabilitated, not just in Magoffin County, but throughout parts of eastern Kentucky. When I went to the site today, you can see, as I learned, that 2/3 of the bridge's platform have already been replaced. Crews on site indicated that they would replace the final platform, the final third of it, sometime next week. I also understand that the rains have not slowed them down. Apparently, these men and those on the project don't see many rainouts and haven't seen hardly any. Therefore, the project is still on schedule. We will be talking with Mr. Elkins next week and finding out more. He was in a meeting earlier today, but did tell my editor, Heather Oney, that there had been no issues with the repairs going on thus far. They were on schedule, and he could give us a better idea as to an exact completion date sometime when we talk soon. So look for that, and look for this to be done hopefully sooner than later. Another year and another season for the Magoffin County Farmers Market, and they've got some announcements about upping some matches for some vouchers and a lot of great news for just the very first day of the Farmers Market. They're also still making very significant headway with having a permanent structure on their location, of course at the site of the former Magoffin County Extension Service, which was destroyed several years ago on the lower end of Sagersville on West Maple Street. But it was all smiles today and a pretty good crowd out for what was literally the first few moments that I was there.
Today is opening day of the Magoffin County Farmers Market. We are here today. Several of our vendors are already getting set up. We have a lot of great, fresh, locally grown produce for all of our shoppers today. The senior bus is getting ready to pull in, so they are going to be cashing in senior vouchers. There's also WIC vouchers available at the health department for anybody who participates in WIC. And in addition to that, we can double those vouchers up to $8 a day. So if you come in and spend $8 in senior vouchers or $8 in WIC vouchers, we can double those up to $8 so you can get $16 worth of free fresh produce.
Yep, this is the fourth year for the Magoffin County Farmers Market, and they will certainly continue to add more throughout this year as they do every season, with a very good start today for their first day of the year. And they still have big plans for the future, with money and plans already in place for a permanent structure on this site or on these grounds on West Maple Street, and with continued enthusiasm and support from the farming community.
As with the last several years, we have seen a gradual increase in participation as the season goes on. We usually start out with 15-20 vendors who are paying dues. By the end of the season, almost all of them have sold here at one point in time. So today we're probably going to have 10 or 12 folks out here selling a few things. As we get into the peak of the growing season, we'll see more and more participants, and then as we get into fall, we'll see a decline in the number of vendors, but we usually always have a very good selection.
Here's just a couple of quick reminders on tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Going on to the calendar, don't forget about the Magoffin County Community Blood Drive coming up in just a couple of days, Monday of next week, which is July the 1st, from 2 to 6:30, the Kentucky Blood Center Bloodmobile will be in front of the Sagersville IGA. You get that super cool tee for donating, and all donators will be registered to win a 2019 Toyota Tacoma as well. Born to Give being the theme for this month's Community Blood Drive. Robin Dale Holbrook is going to be remembered during a celebration of life next Wednesday, where he worked for so many years at the Eula Hall Health Center. If you have any questions about the event, 587-2200. Friends and family asked to join them, as well as patients and everyone else in the community, next Wednesday at 2. And don't forget, the day before the Sagersville fireworks celebration and parade. There's a little parade that Friday, 1 week from this Friday, at the city park across from City Hall for kids 3 to 12. Decorate your bicycles and tricycles in 4th of July style from 5:30 to 7:30. They're going to have a little parade, and everyone who participates gets to be in the big parade the next day. Don't forget the Sagersville Masonic Lodge Summer Special Needs Blowout is this Saturday, the 29th, noon to 4 at North Magoffin Elementary. And don't forget our community calendar when you have something, including birthdays and anniversaries, you need everyone to know about. We've got another special deal for you this week at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Clip this coupon out of the Sagersville Independent, bring it with you, or you can get one at your Sagersville Lee's, and you'll get half off your second fabulous fish dinner. That's right, buy one, and with this coupon out of the Sagersville Independent, get the second fish dinner at your Sagersville Lee's half off. A plate full of our tastiest fish, hush puppies, coleslaw, and potato wedges. Buy one, get one half off with a coupon at your Sagersville Lee's. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. Just like that, we've jumped into the spring allergy season with all the buds and blooms, tree and grass pollen, mold, and all the nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy nose and eyes and throat that they cause. Don't get caught off guard. Protect yourself daily with a quick trip to Parkway Pharmacy for over-the-counter and prescription relief. And you can always log into parkwaypharmacy.com to have your prescriptions ready when you get there at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville.
Jerry Pelfrey Fireworks is conveniently located off of US 23 in Painesville, Kentucky. Give them a call at 606-367-5569 or look them up on Facebook for all of your firework needs.
If you haven't stopped by the seasonal shop lately, you're missing out. They've got new arrivals weekly and great deals every day, and the entire store has a fresh new look. Summer's here and the seasonal shop is ready for fun, sun, and the cutest clothes. They've got outfits for any special occasion you might have on your calendar or casual outfits for any day of the week. So come in and let them help you select the perfect outfit, and don't forget the jewelry. They've got a large selection of some of the most unique jewelry in the area, and they've got everything you need for your pool or beach days with bright, beautiful cover-ups and caftans, sunglasses, towels, and hats. And new patchwork Kentucky hats with a heart over Sagersville are the perfect way to keep the sun off your face at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Well, they've loaded up the trailer and they've headed to Pennsylvania, and that's where they're hoping to make a big splash in the NMRA series, the 11th or 19th annual, I believe it is. That's the Conley racing team that I'm speaking of. We love following Martin and the rest of this family and friend operation each and every racing season, and so far this one has not been a letdown, and of course we are not surprised at all. But you can also find a great write-up on the Conley Racing team on a popular drag racing site, and there you can also find a link to watch the racing live this weekend if you'd like to check it out. Yeah, indeed. They loaded up the Pro-Charged Mustang on the trailer last night, still with a few skins on it from the last race, which, of course, they won, as you saw here in your news today. If you want to see all the live racing action, you can catch it on the internet over the course of the weekend, as Conley Racing is in Pennsylvania. And if you also go to Dragzine, that's DRAGZINE.com, you can find the link to watch the racing there. But you can also find a really cool story that Dragzine did on the Conley Racing team and Martin Conley. And it reads, just in brief, that there's no denying that Martin Conley is a threat at this weekend's NMRA Pro Charger Modified Street and DXP 235 drag radial. They say that he's wheeled to wins in both classes in the Mustang that's owned locally by Eddie and Maggie McCarty, and he's proven that he is on top of his game, whether with his previous combination with that built 363 cubic 8.2-inch Ford engine topped with trick flow, high port heads, and enhanced by nitrous, or what they're running now in the red or orange Mustang, which is a built 363 cubic inch 8.2 deck Ford engine with, of course, trick flow heads and that monster Pro Charger D1X. And that's the setup they're taking to Pennsylvania this weekend. The car was still a nitrous car just this past December, and by the end of January, they had it on the dyno as a blower and then surprised everyone at the 11th annual Scoggin Dickey Parts Center All-Star Nationals at Atlanta Dragway. And, of course, we've been keeping up with them throughout, and it was at that race that they ran for the first time ever running in a quarter mile, ran a 7:89 in the quarter and came in as runner-up. First time ever they'd run the car in a quarter. So now Conley sits third in NMRA Pro Charger Modified Street points. He holds the current record in NMRA Pro Charger Modified Street with a 7:72 in the quarter mile and a current record in the DXP 235 drag radial with a 5.01 in the eighth mile, both the runs of which you've seen here on your news today. And he's going to give it everything he's got to move up in points this weekend at the 19th Annual NMRA Ford Motorsport Nationals. Started yesterday with qualifying rounds, goes through this weekend at Maple Grove Raceway in Pennsylvania. Speedvideo.com is where you can find the live feed. You can also find that link by checking out the story here on Martin at dragzine.com. And you can find out how they did next week here on Your News Today. Well, I'm going to have to do your weather in a bit of an odd fashion tonight. It's been a very busy day, but we've accomplished a lot of things and gotten a few things fixed today. Just put me a little short on time for your forecast, so let's take a look at the radar and talk about the showers and storms that have been blowing up in parts of eastern Kentucky and the viewing area, and let me tell you about what we expect to see for your weekend. Those showers and storms just at the western edge of Magoffin County have been just that for the past 40 minutes. They kind of blew up and have just parked themselves there. And we're waiting to see what's going to happen. And you can see behind me, or as you will in a second, and as you have, of course, the clouds that indicate they're not that far away from the viewing area in that direction. So keep your eye on these showers and storms tonight. The official forecast calling for a 20% chance before 9 o'clock, partly cloudy, and a low of 64 for the rest of your Friday evening. Tomorrow's shower chances pretty much the same. A 20% shot after 2 a.m. and still hot and humid. 89 and sunny by 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Well, that's when the shower chances will end, but still right around 20%. Partly cloudy and 65. For your Sunday, an increased but not quite as great. 24 hours ago, I was calling for a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms per the National Weather Service out of Jackson. It's dropped a bit down to 30, but we're still talking about 86, just not quite as hot on Sunday, but mostly sunny, 86 and a 30% chance. Still completely dry Monday, mostly sunny and 87, but shower chances do come back into the picture every day thereafter next week and throughout the 4th of July. Up to 20, 30, and 40% between Tuesday and Thursday. Temperatures still into the upper 80s each and every day, so a hot, humid, and possibly stormy holiday weekend in front of us. Thank you for being here this Friday. Please join us next Monday. Indictments, which I've already got in-house, and a host of other news, which I have to pick up on and hit the ground running with next Monday. Hope to see you then. Have a good weekend.